Ready? Hey faithful people, it's your girl Christelle by Betsy, and you are back on the Girl Talk series. So today's a special episode. We have middle school girls here because this is the middle school edition.
Hey.
So these girls are going to tell you their names and their year and their Instagrams too.
Hi, my name is Unica.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in 8th grade and my Instagram is _itsme._.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm going to 8th grade and my Instagram is _its with a Z, Mish _.
My name is Naomi. I am going to 9th grade and my Instagram is Najana Naomi.
All right. So we all set. We got a few questions here and they're going to answer it. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Hi.
Y'all questions are pretty good. The first question is we're going to go straight into like relationships. So like how do you think your relationship with God should be different or similar to your relationship with your friends?
Who wants to?
It should be different because your friends. Your friends. So but if it's like God like He does stuff for you. He's the reason that you're living and stuff. So it's like you should tell Him everything, and even if you don't, He still knows because He knows what's in your mind. So you should be more open to Him. And like friends, I'm not really open to friends because they can take anything and turn it against you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I don't. Okay, so like it's just friends. We're not close to friends. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what I need. They don't know that much about me. I can't trust all of them. Don't know all of them. I can't open up to any of them. Yeah, they don't know what I'm going through. They don't know my phase that I'm in. Yeah, so friends.
But God knows all that stuff.
Yeah, you know everything.
Friends, they come and go. Like every single school year, you lose friends and you gain some more friends. Some, like God, He's not going to leave your side. He's going to be there like all the time. And even though you and God are on a rocky start or like
Season.
Yeah, He's not going to leave you, and He knows everything. He knows what you're thinking. Yeah.
He's forever there.
Yeah.
I think there's some similarities there though. I know Shasha, you said it's different, but there's some similarities. Like you should love God and you should love people. You don't have to trust people though. You don't have to tell them anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you do. I feel like the only thing that you like are required to tell them is that Jesus is real. Like just so that they know. Like, all right, look, just in case you ain't know, Jesus is alive. Okay, that's all I have to say. Like literally, you don't have to trust people really at all. But that's one way that they're similar. So don't separate them too much. But yeah. All right. So next question is. I'm gonna stay in the relationship section, but more on like romantic relationships. Have you thought about marriage yet?
Yes.
Yes,
I
all
have.
the time.
You thought about marriage? No. I think Shasha should get like a star sticker or something, high key, because I was always thinking like when I was younger, I started thinking about marriage real young, and I realized like that it's not that good. It's not that
stressful.
good.
Yeah,
When you
it's
think
a lot.
about it.
Yes.
I
All
don't think
right.
it's my
Go
time
kudos to
do
you,
that.
Shasha. Because what it does, it makes you feel like, when is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? Like, it
You're
just
impatient.
Yes. Yep. So, but for the girls who have thought about marriage, what do you think about? What do you think about marriage? Do you think about the guy, like how he's supposed to look or stuff like that? Or do you just think about being married one day?
I think of what's gonna happen when I get married, like what I have to cancel out, what I have to
How your
my
life gonna
boundaries.
change.
Yeah, how everything's just gotta be fixed, or like how I'm supposed to cope with it. Yeah.
I feel like every month, my thoughts are like what I have, my type, and a guy. I used to have a type. Like it changes. Like 1 month, the dark skin, tall hair, and then the next month is something totally different. But it's like I heard from Pastor Mike that you're not supposed to have a list. And
he said that. He said rip up your list.
Yeah, I stopped doing that because I had a whole lot. Like it was a long list. Because then once God gave me the person, it's probably someone different, like someone I don't expect. And then once He gave it to me, I'm like, what did you just give me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I don't know. When I was younger, I used to think like I had a list as well, but it was like I was okay with God not going by the list, but I had a time. Do you guys have a time like, oh, when I get this age, I should be married?
23.
I mean,
23. I am 23. You got dang, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
I gotta go.
dang. I'm supposed to be married. You have a goal though?
Yeah, like around 28 or something. When I
28?
get settled in.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like 23, I should meet him. Like, I should already know him. Cause like, I don't know if I'm gonna meet him like when I'm in college or high school, because you don't know yet. Because I feel like we should start like at least getting to know each other. By the time I'm like 26, we should get married.
Okay.
You got it down.
Okay.
It's gonna change.
Like, yeah, so it may not change, but you really just don't know.
Yeah.
The word tells, the Bible says, like, we make our plans, and it's okay to make plans, like, to know, okay, just like how you know one day I'm going to have a career, you should know one day I'm going to be married. But it shouldn't be like, you got to be like this, and we're going to live like this, and it's gonna, like, all those specifics. You can make as many plans as you want, but God directs your steps. When you get there, God's gonna be the one telling you, like, that's your guy. Like, there's nobody else that's gonna be able to help you. Your plan's gonna go in the garbage. Which is why Michael Todd did say rip up your list, which was like useful, but I still kind of have mine. All right. Next question. I didn't really have a long list, but it's more spiritual. Like, I want him to be patient. Those kind of things matter to me more than anything.
I want to be able to pray with you.
Yes.
Like, you gotta teach me more stuff. Like,
yeah.
You gotta help me keep on track.
yes.
Alright, so we're gonna switch up the topic just a little bit to mental health. So I know mental health is pretty popular now. I don't know what you've already heard about mental health. What have you heard already?
I mean, I don't know what I heard. I heard a lot, to be honest. I just haven't actually just thought of it. But it's like the inner, I don't know how to put it. Your thoughts, something, just to deal with my
Your
inner
thoughts?
me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I can put it. I don't know how to put it.
How about you, Unica? You heard about mental health?
Not really. I'll be hearing stuff from Instagram and how people have to like it's mostly around teenage year. They have to deal with it, and some deal with it by themselves. And
It's like a phase.
yeah, it's sometimes it's not really a phase, because it's like you could like something might happen one specific year, and then you carry it out for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It sticks with you.
Mental health. Not really, except for like in health class, but I think it's like the state of mind that you're in. Like, do you feel good about yourself, or do you feel bad about yourself? Or it's like, do you take care of yourself, like self-care and stuff, and how you take opinion of other people, because that can like change the way that you see
yourself. Yeah, I think mental health, just so you have context to answer the next question, mental health is like, just like when dental health, you go to your dentist and your dentist checks your teeth to make sure that you were flossing, but you can lie and say you weren't flossing, that you were flossing but you weren't. That's how mental health is. Mental health, you can go to a doctor where they check to see your state of mind, to see what kind of thoughts that you're having. But you can lie and be like, I'm perfectly fine, just like we do all the time, because
Sunshine.
American language, they say, hi, how are you? That's normal. Hi, how are you? They don't really care how you are. They don't care if you're actually okay. They don't care if you just cry your eyeballs out. They don't. It's just, hi, how are you? And they literally will walk away. Yeah. So, but we're so used to answering, I'm good, and you? I'm good, and you? But you're not good. So mental health is just actually figuring out how you are. Mental health is figuring out how you are. Now, mental health in the church is kind of controversial, because people think God should know everything that's in my mind, and that's all that matters. God is the best mind doctor, the best everything. But how do you feel about it? How do you feel, like, should it be in the church? Should it be implemented in the church? Should this be a topic that they talk about?
Should mental health be a topic that they talk about in church? I'll go with yes, because there's some people that is struggling with their mental health at the moment and need an understanding of it, or either going through something and they don't know how to handle it or deal with it. So if they did talk about it in church, it'll help a lot of people that are suffering or like needed help with their mental health.
I think it's like we don't do it like as a group in the church. Like sometimes people go separate of church time and they go talk to the pastor about it and stuff. But youth, I feel like it should be like a group thing, since it's like we're all mostly at the same age,
dealing with the same kind of stuff.
And understand each other.
And it's like some of the situation that you dealing with, you might think that you're dealing with it by yourself. And it's like other people, they're dealing with it too. Like they might say, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, I don't deal with that. But they're really dealing with it. Because I've dealt with a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm too young to be dealing with all these stuff. But it's just like I've been through a lot. And it's like the whole church, like I can't talk to the whole church and be like, oh, I'm dealing with so and so and so. It's like certain people that I could go to and be like, I need help, I need prayer, this and that. But it's I feel like we should have like a group for that, so you could talk about it. Not be afraid to go to them and talk to them when you need them.
Yeah, that's part of the question. Like some churches do have like churches have counselors in their church, like therapists in their church. So instead of me feeling like, okay, I'm depressed, because I went through a season of depression, y'all know, in college. And I was like going to seek help from the counselors in my school and stuff like that. I barely spoke to people in my own house, and in the church definitely not, because I knew they was gonna be like, that's the devil. Like I just knew they was just gonna try to pray it out for me instead of try to like explain it to me and talk to me. So I seeked help at school, but there are some churches that have that kind of help like in church. So I just wanted to ask you guys, like, should that be a thing? Like, should that be normal, or should it be like, no, Jesus is the answer, go pray?
Yeah, it should be normal.
I think so too. Like mental health is serious, and y'all are in middle school, and this is the time that
go through things.
Yes, a lot of things are happening.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are happening inside. They're not like just outside. Oh yeah, like I'm growing taller. No, most of the things that are happening are inside of your mind, inside of your thoughts, and you're not processing it because you're not sharing it. It's like internalized. Yeah, mental health is very serious, y'all. Y'all should have these conversations more. When you're in school, right, and you're like, you notice somebody that looks cute or whatever, how do you go about that? Like, how do you go about meeting attractive people or being attracted to people? Yeah.
Me? I feel like every single week I have somebody different. Like it's like you do something nice to me, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I like him.
So nice.
Yeah, it's like I think about our future together.
Oh my god.
And then you do something I don't like, I'm like, I don't do that. It's like, I just keep it. Sometimes I keep it to myself, but it's like I can't do that. Like I'm a touchy person. I'm not that type of person to be like, oh my gosh, like I don't show my love like that. Like I'll actually hug you, I'll touch up on you, but I don't do that to like my crushes. Yeah, I'll just look at you and be like, stop looking at me. Like, what's going on?
It's different with guys.
Yes.
I just think it comes and goes. It changes like through time. It just changes a lot and stuff like that. When you know you can't get near them or any chance, it's over.
That's the hardest feeling, when you know you got no chance.
Why? What?
You gotta look at me.
No, that's hard. Like, dang,
what?
I got no chance. You gotta look at them like, I got no chance anyways.
Like, how do you know that? How do you know you don't have no chance?
It's because the way their appearance
and their type, people they date.
Yes, they go for like the more like actual physical, like,
like attractive, like not smart.
Like, they don't go for the personality.
They're like, you look at them and you're just like, oh, we have no chance, because like the people they like is what society like.
Oh,
like they be like, oh, I don't date you.
Understandable.
Like I only date
like you're big.
Yeah, or like the ones that's about to put out or something. The fast ones, the ones that are gonna.
Yes, the light skin with the curly hair. That's a big one.
They do that stuff, so then like when people look at them, their reputation's not ruined because they like what everybody else like.
Okay, that's a challenge then, because when you said that, like, oh, I'm not your type, I was thinking more like your own self-value or your own identity, like you don't see how much you're worth, so it's like, dang, he may not be interested in me. But you're right about society, because society does paint this picture of the kind of perfect girl that you should be with. and the guys in school might be like, yeah, that's the only type of girl I'm interested in, and they post them over and over on social media, and until they become obsessed with this imaginary person. It's weird. So wait, but how do you deal with, like, other than like not in person, not talking to them, how do you deal with it yourself? Like, if you know your crushes change all the time, do you still get crushes? Like, what's the point? If you know, like, okay, I'm gonna stop liking you probably next week, like, do you still give yourself that chance of being like, I like this person, and being all romantic and stuff?
I try to not think about it. It's gonna cross my mind here and there. Once I see them, like, oh yeah. But like, I try to push away, like, block it, do something productive.
Like, I don't need it right now.
Yeah, I'm too young.
It's like I have other things to be worried about
Yeah,
instead of
not
liking
focus.
somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, and then as soon as you like somebody, then they get in the way of everything.
Yes.
Like, if you're in school, you get distracted, you think of them, and then your grades go
Forget to
down,
do your
and then
homework
you
because
just
you're
mess up
texting
everything.
Oh, I don't miss it. But crushes, I think crushes are exactly what they're called, crushes, because you just, like, it's like whatever dreams or things that you just imagined, it just kind of get crushed up. Like, it's just useless.
Yeah.
But you're right, it does distract you, and it kind of takes over. So what would you tell somebody, like, what would you tell somebody your age that's in middle school or graduating from middle school that, you know, that has these crushes on people or have like one crush on one person? What would you tell that person?
Stay
Sis,
away.
it got to go. You don't need it.
Stay away from him. That's
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Tell your friends, don't bring him up. You don't know who that is.
Tell
You
yourself
got
that
to-
you don't like that person.
Pretend you don't exist.
Yes, like that.
Walk
When you keep
past
thinking, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him, you're gonna start to forget about him. Like, it happens. It works for me. Like, I'm like, like, I'll think of all the negative things about you just so I can stop liking you, and that works. Like,
That's
I
so
lie.
terrible though.
Like, it works.
Like, hey, look at his. Oh,
No,
yeah,
you're
nah.
not worth
Like,
it.
that's so
No.
terrible. Okay, but how about this? How does that work in the body of Christ? Like, if I got a crush on somebody in church, not even school, like there's this guy in church, I see him praying, and I'm just like, wow.
I love that.
Like, yeah, like, how does that work? If I know that I'm, like, it's gonna end eventually.
Pray about it because he might be the one. You never know.
He might be the one.
He might be the one.
Because he in church praying.
Maybe. He might
Imagine. Like, wow, he's on his knees too. Oh, that must be
Right,
fine.
right.
That might be it. Just.
But you gotta pray about them in school and outside of school too, because you never know. God might be like your high school enemy. Middle school, my fault. Middle school enemy could be your future husband. Like, you never know.
Just like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Y'all minds is different from mine. This is what,
What you
like,
thinking?
I'm thinking, if I got a crush on somebody now, like y'all age, in middle school, about to go to high school, like, what is it gonna do for me? Cause, what do crushes lead to?
Disaster.
Literally,
Nothing.
okay, even if he was like, finally was like, all right, let me just, go on a date with you. Where does that lead to?
It's gonna be disaster.
Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
No point.
Just forget
It's not
about
like we could go out on dates, bro. Like, we're
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, like,
Haitian.
what's the point of a crush now? Like, how
What's the
useful is it
point?
gonna be?
We
Because
shall
when
know
it's
now.
There is no point.
You know, we
yeah,
over here bringing them plastic rings.
like,
A ring pop.
it's so weird. But I remember it being such a big deal, like having a crush. Like, I used to be so excited to sit next to people in school and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm fully grown. I don't even, like, we don't communicate anymore. So that was definitely useless.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I think it's because, like, during middle school, everybody, they just focus on having a boyfriend,
Yes.
having this, showing off this, posting this.
Yes.
So, like, when we don't have one, it's like, just want one to, like, show off, sit next to, have little.
Be all lovey-dovey.
Yeah, and just show everybody that we got something too, like, show off. But, like, it's never like that.
That's my boyfriend.
So
y'all.
it's not really even about the relationship.
No, I don't think it's just about middle school.
If you actually date the person in middle school, it's not. It's not. It's not.
It's gonna go.
It's either your friend pushed you, like, go, he's
Or they
right,
asked you
go.
for you.
Or yes, or his friends asked you. And it's like when
Wow.
when their friends ask you, you don't want to be mean and it's just like,
Exactly.
sure, like I'll date you, and it's like,
And by date, you mean just look at smile with each other in the
Hi.
cafeteria.
walk down the hallways together. Like y'all can't go on no date.
This tastes like medicine.
Especially some people are like nervous to actually hold hands or sit next to them. I think I was one myself. I used to hate it. Especially when you had to say yes because you didn't want to embarrass them. Because it came up to a time where I had to say yes. Boy, I felt bad. So I had to pretend. I'm over here. Hi.
How you doing today?
How you doing?
That happened to me one time in the 6th grade. This guy had a crush on me. Everybody knew. Like, he was so obvious about it. And that's where it gets miscommunicated. Because just because you got a crush on me don't mean I have to like you at all.
Right.
But, like, they'll pressure. Like, it does feel like pressure. Like, he likes you. He bought you this. Like, he did. He doing this. He wrote you a letter. Oh, my goodness. And one time, like, I was just like, you know what, fine. Like, he was my neighbor, too. Like, my next door neighbor. I'm like, all right, fine. All right, cool. Like, we go out. And that same day, like throughout that day, I was just like, why did I say it? That whole day, I was like, why did I say it? So by the end of the day, I was like, all right, we broke up. You had your day. That's enough. Bye. But like, it is kind of useless in a way. Like,
You just
wow.
gotta avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, if you see somebody that you like, just be like, oh, well, I have to get my grades.
Just keep your God
before you worry about stuff like that, you have to make sure that you're like
In a good
like,
place.
Yeah.
Your mental health good. Everything on
Everything.
point. You ready.
Mm-hmm.
You stable. Good relationship with God.
Yes. Yeah. I was about to say, because how many middle school love stories do you think there is in the Bible? Like, none. Like, the people, God doesn't even talk about dating or girlfriend or boyfriends. He talks about marriage. Like, it goes from you living in your parents' house to you being married. Like, the dating and stuff, that's really the world trying to just
testing.
Yeah, and just put like these kind of ideas in your head early on, which eventually just leads to sin and a relationship far from God. So I think you're right about like staying away from me in a way, because
Something else to say. Okay, and it's like having a boy. We're gonna go to boy. Having a boyfriend in middle school. Nowadays, 2020 is sneaky links. All that. So it's like having a boyfriend. They're gonna try to like, oh, do you want to go to the park with me? And we all know like they don't care. Boys don't really. They don't care.
I
And it
think
gets crazy.
It'll bring you into doing things that like
you're
not allowed to do the bad things and stuff like that, which just interrupts everything.
And then you feel guilty with God. So it's just like, oh my gosh, like
I can't go in front of my
it's
parents.
not worth it.
I was at that point.
Yeah. That's how it be, but like that's not. I can't even be mad at the guys, or like I want to be like, oh, all the middle school guys. But it's not even them. That's just the devil. Like that sounds so stereotypical because the Haitians always everything is the job, but it really is because when they don't have a relationship with God, they're wide open to be used by the devil. Like so, it's like he leads them to like porn, or he leads them to those kinds of things, and they're trying to act out what they watch in real life when it's really like perverted. The thoughts are perverted. Like God didn't give them those thoughts, but they try to manifest those thoughts in real life. And it's sad that it's happening like as young as middle school, but I remember middle school, so I can say it's sad, but I remember going through it. Oh my goodness. And speaking of, I want to just talk about what the school systems have been like teaching, or what you've been watching, not even the teachers, but just like what you've been learning. So when it comes to like womanhood, the idea of womanhood and being a woman, what did you learn from school? Like what did your health teachers tell you, or like the girls in the locker room tell you?
It was over like it was just the teachers would always say, watch what you wear, or something like you gotta be aware of yourself, keep an eye on yourself, like just don't let things come and stuff. There's just like little things like that, And then other teachers, like principals, stuff like that, with the shoulder things, little strap thingies, they'll come for like our clothes. They wouldn't really teach us or say something productive. They'll just come for our outfit. But I don't think it's just us. I think it's mainly, well, it is some of us, too. But like I think it's the boys part of it too. Yeah, because they gotta learn how to always stay on their side.
We can't stop the boys from what they think.
Yeah, that's why.
So that's covered.
They still gotta be on that.
But my school, they didn't really teach. They don't teach us health like that. Like anything I know is from like social media or from like other friends.
Yeah.
So it's like what my teachers tell me, because sometimes my teacher will stop the whole lesson and talk about like stuff that's happening now. So she's just like, you can't be fast. You gotta wait on it.
Yeah.
Those are the good teachers, though. The teachers that actually care about you, because it's not in the curriculum.
And the teachers
that
that
stop
stop the
the
lesson.
Like,
Life
look,
lessons.
enough of science today. Listen, I heard some things, and I hope it's not y'all. Yeah, those teachers love you. Like, that's good.
Making sure we doing good.
All right, yeah. So, like, how about your school? Did they do like help or like, they like my school had like sisterhood type things where they would talk about just how you're supposed to be a woman. I don't know if you've had those conversations.
Yeah, I have.
That's so weird. Like, how are they teaching you how to be a woman in
Girls groups.
Yes,
Yeah.
like.
They don't have that in school, but like in 6th grade, because everybody was like, oh, we have health now and stuff like that. They would be like, if you're a girl, your teacher will be a girl. If you're a boy, your teacher will be a boy. And now, in my new school, in 7th grade, it don't matter. Like, the health teacher is a boy. It don't matter if you're a girl. And then boys and girls in the same class and stuff. So it's like, it's not really like closed. They don't talk to you privately. They just say stuff out loud. And then it's like, if it's about the girls, the boys will be like, ooh.
Ooh,
And
yo,
it's like the girls like the
my
boys, the girls are like, oh.
It's like that every time. It just, I don't know how to say it, but it's like a weird. It's just, are we supposed to know that for ourselves?
Yeah.
Or is everyone just supposed to know that? Because there's some things that they be saying out loud
It's
like
general.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's general. They generalize some information that's specific to people. So it's like, if you're talking about womanhood and you're saying, okay, make sure you cover up, make sure you do this. It's like, I hope the same respect is being given to the guys too, because as much as importance as it is for the girls to cover up, it's just as important for the guy to be respectful. But I feel like they do a lot more. Like, if they're talking in general, there's a lot more, hey girls, make sure you, you're trying to be a woman, right? But you're not teaching the boys how to be young men. Or
Exactly. They never like put them in their place or like tell them what's needed or what they need to like understand. They never just
And that's why boys nowadays, they're jerks. Like, they're just...
say it louder.
Some girls, I feel like, okay, nowadays, girls, all they want a hood boy, someone that will check them.
That's your generation. Well, I can't even say your generation.
Like, no, and it's like, that's why, because the teachers, they don't tell the boys how to be a gentleman. They don't tell them how to open up the door for them. I feel like their parents should teach them that too. But it's like, their parents probably do teach them, but
They don't
them
do it.
themselves, they don't do it.
Social
they feel
media
like,
and stuff are not showing
they feel like
them
they shouldn't show girls respect. And I don't think that's right.
Do you think that also happens in church too? Like, are we missing out on the lessons for the church boys as well?
Yes, too.
Oh, give me an example.
I mean, we've been talking about how like outfits, dresses, and stuff like that. But it's also some of the boys, they're just not into the topic or just not like focusing. Like they don't actually want to be there.
Yeah,
some
you
of them
could
just
tell.
don't want to be there.
And
Yeah.
And some of them, they're like, I feel like, sorry, that don't really make sense with what we're talking about. It does. Okay, so they're like touchy. And it's like, you're not like, oh, I can't explain it. I don't know.
Personal space.
Yes, like, you gotta teach them that. And that comes with, like, especially if you're covered up and stuff like that. So they're just like, how are you today?
Yeah,
like,
they
so
wanna
it's just
get
like,
them.
I'm dressed fully. Like, what's going on? Why you all up on me? Like, I need space.
They find something.
I wish it was back in the past. Like, I remember, like, and it was like, now they don't care about anything. But like a long time ago, it was just like to look at each other and then just be blushing. She's like, like now it's just like, you know. Now
It
it's
wasn't
taking
really
me
like that
back.
though.
Yeah,
That's how they made it seem like.
It's like the whole hair's just like, oh, you guys look so cute. Like,
no.
it's just
It
regular.
never was like that, Shasha. That is in the
That's
storybook.
what
They make it seem like that, but the real life is like, the real life is not real life. There's nothing new under the sun. Like, this is not new. boys acting crazy and girls being told to cover up while the guys get to do whatever they want. That's not new. And the blushing that still happens today too. Some girls and guys were raised in households that were like that taught them good etiquette and manners. So when they go out and they see an attractive girl, they might start blushing and the girl might start blushing. Some guys were raised well. So it still happens today. It's not a time thing. It's a what you've learned kind of thing. It doesn't have to do with time. It has to do with who's teaching you, because you can teach a young man to be a gentleman. You can. But society doesn't do that. That's not the responsibility of society. That's the responsibility of the household. And I even want to say it's the responsibility of the church, because the church is a home to Christians. It should be a home to Christians anyway. But that's really the reason why I asked that question. Like, how can we do better when it comes to raising our next generation? Because y'all are dealing with them. Like, we get to raise them and you go to school with them. Like, sometimes it's like, how well are these leaders in church doing in terms of raising the young men to be respectful? Sounds like we're not doing that. Well, that's cool, because we got stuff to learn as we go. But the conversation on, do you know what dating is and courting?
I forgot. I did, but I forgot.
You forgot? You heard of the words before?
I think no, I haven't.
Okay, but do you know what sex is?
Yes.
Yes.
You heard the word?
Yes.
When and where was your like first, oh, I know what sex is moment?
Health.
Health class?
Health and from friends.
Family?
Yeah, I think mainly friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was never mentioned to it or like actually told about it. So once I got to school, they were all up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Health class, we were talking about it, just kept talking about it. So I just heard of it.
How about celibacy? Do you know what that is? No, you don't know, Shasha? Unica, you know?
I think so.
Okay. So that's one of the issues that we're having too. Can you see what the issue is? Like, celibacy means not having sex.
We should know these.
Celibacy means don't have sex, keep yourself pure. You know, just like how you're saying, when you have crushes, just forget about it. This is not the time for it. That's all celibacy means. But you learned about sex first. What do you think that's going to do to the young people in your generation? They're learning about sex before they learn about celibacy.
I feel like now, like, they learn about sex at an early age, like
Mm-hmm.
a very early age. And I don't think that's, like, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should learn, I feel like you should also learn from it from church and not from, like, cousins or, like, school or, like, other boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you shouldn't be learning it from there.
This just changed their mindset to
Yes.
wanting to actually do it
And
at
try
an
it out
early
and
age.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to save themselves because it sounds fun. Everybody talking about, just like a popular thing. So now they just want to go ahead and
It's
do
like a
it.
new trend.
Oh, why would they save themselves if they don't even know that they can? I mean, they learned about sex first. That's all they know. So they didn't know, like, I can be celibate. They just know, well, we can have sex. How appealing does that look when you don't have, like, the other option? So what do you think our responsibility is now that you know what celibacy is? Or another way they say is abstinence. But you know it as purity. What now that we know about those things, what do you think our responsibility is, like, as followers of Christ and light of the world that we're supposed to be? What do you think our responsibility is? Tell people what?
Tell people that it's like you have to
You
wait.
definitely gotta speak up, because they
You
can't.
gotta wait.
Uh-huh.
It's just, well, it kind of depends because some people are not like Christians, so they don't know like what happens and stuff. Like in the Bible, it talks about like soul ties and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then like people who are not a Christian, like they're like not out of it and stuff. They don't know about it, so they don't care. Like
Mhm.
they should be like, oh, there's no consequences or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand it. They don't fully understand, like, what's the point to save themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So once they do, I think it'll actually help.
Do you think it's better to lead by example?
Yeah.
Is that an option?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, because they do it already. Because they follow what society thinks is gonna be easy to follow people instead of like making a change. Because like everybody's like, it's easier to be a follower than a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So they just like, if you can follow what everybody else says, you can follow what somebody else says. Like you can follow what I say, if you can follow what she says.
Yeah.
What if the younger generation, like your little cousins and your little sisters, they're watching you? They actually are. You might not see it, but they're like copying everything you do. Monkey see, monkey do. So it's like, what if you're washing the dishes like correctly, they're gonna know how to do it. So it's like if you holding yourself and like, because they're gonna come up to you and be like, how come you don't have a boyfriend? Or how come you don't have a girlfriend? Do you know what sex is? Like if you're like, actually, for this part, I'm not really sure if you should like expose kids at an early age at syllabus or like saving yourself and stuff like that.
Syllabus?
Celibacy? Syllabus. Yeah. You know what I mean. Okay.
Go.
Yeah. If you should like expose them to an early age because they're gonna learn like either way. But it's like at the same time, if you teach it to them at an early age, they're gonna want to know more, which is gonna lead to like teaching them about sex and stuff like that. So it's like I'm not really sure. I don't know.
I don't know whether it's like a right time to
I don't know what's the right time. I feel like and I don't want them to come to you because it's like when they come to you, it's most likely they're gonna learn from school or from like outside, someone else mouth or something.
And they say I've watched a couple like older people that were explaining how society works or how our thoughts work based off of what we learn from society. So whatever you learn first is usually what you find to be true until something else comes. So when it comes down to like, should you wait to speak to a young person about celibacy? If you wait until they find out something first from the world, that's what they're gonna think is true. Do you think that's what happened to you guys? Like, because the church didn't tell you about it first and you learned about it from school. So what kind of connotation does sex have? Like, do you think it's a positive thing or negative?
It depends.
Yeah.
If you're not married, then it's negative. If you're married, then it's positive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's good. That's biblical. What are we supposed to do about that when the world is telling them something else?
Are we talking about like our friends? Or like,
you're talking about your friends. Y'all in school. Y'all, yes, this quarantine stuff messed up school, but you still got y'all still got school friends.
We should probably inform them, but it's like at the end of the day, you do what you choose, but I'm just telling you not to do it.
Right.
my friends, we talk about stuff like this. And it's like, especially at lunchtime, we bring up topics like this. And it's like some friends, they're like atheists, some is Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everybody have their different opinions. And it's like me, I'm not really strong in my faith. So it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm not really strong in my faith. So I can't really explain them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, my parents, like, especially in the Haitian household, sex is bad. That's it. They don't explain why.
Mm-hmm.
They don't explain why you should hold yourself for marriage. They just say sex is bad, no sex, none of that. You gotta wait till you get married. So I have to like explain to them. It's like you gotta hold yourself for marriage because you don't know what's gonna happen. Once you try it one time, you're gonna keep going back for more. It's just like drugs, like weed or like stuff like that. You try it that one time, and then you don't know what's gonna happen. You might get addicted. You don't know. You're just gonna keep wanting more, keep wanting more. But yeah.
But still, what? So you say you're not strong in your faith, so you don't feel comfortable like telling them about it.
But I will. Like I'm not. When they push me to a certain extent, like asking me more questions, I'm just like, I'm not really sure. I'm not that good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'll tell you.
From what I know.
Yes, I'll tell you from what I know.
And that's how it should be, though. That what do you think they're telling you? When even the people who are saying like, like the ones that are out there doing everything they want to do, they're doing it from what they know.
Yeah, they tell you. There's
So,
no point.
and I think that's one of the issues that we face in the world that we're living in today is the people who know the truth. Like the people who know, like, okay, sex outside of marriage is no good, but sex in marriage is okay. Like the people who knows that, they're the ones that are most quiet. And the ones that know, because even though it's not true, they still know that sex must be good because everybody else is doing it and they're doing it. Those that know that they say it more often. They're very vocal about it. So I'm challenging you guys to be the person that's not quiet anymore. Like, it's not to start up the conversation, hey guys, let's talk about sex. No. But when it does come up, just to be that person to talk for Christ. Yeah, like, y'all don't have to do that. And actually, it's better if you wait till marriage. Like, that's what I know. That's it.
It's like everybody knows it, but they always have like excuses.
And when y'all talk about it, like, stuff just comes out your mouth. Like, you don't know where it's coming from. Like, God is just there.
Yeah.
Like,
He uses you. Like,
I'll be looking back like, where did I get that from?
Yeah, God does use us. And that's really important, because when you're in school, like, it's like going into a spiritual warfare. Y'all don't know much about spiritual warfare, but you will learn today. And this is the last question. What would you tell an elementary school girl that just finished going into middle school? What you're encountering, or y'all just finished encountering in middle school? What would you tell like a young person going into middle school to prepare her for what's going on?
Follow your own footsteps.
Follow your own footsteps.
Cause it's like you're gonna try to fit into different groups of friends, and you're gonna jump from one group every single year. Like 7th grade, this type of friend group, and you're gonna realize, oh, I'm not fit for them. And then you're gonna join another group of friends, and you're gonna try to find yourself. But it's okay.
It's gonna be challenges.
Just don't be all over the place. Like, keep yourself stable.
Challenges and temptations are gonna be there.
It's like, don't get tempted. Just focus.
Yeah.
Focus on what?
School.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah. You get grades, and then you go, and then that's when you decide what you want to do.
That's the main reason, but like the kids there are just like, so let me just say this. But like school, yeah, we go there to focus. We have to get our grades up. We have to get like everything there. But the distractions are with the friends, kids, and everybody else. The temptations come with them, the challenges come with them, the judgment come with them, everything comes with them. So you just gotta focus, stay past it, and get through it without having to fall into temptations or anything like that.
Do not stay after school.
Don't stay after school.
If you don't have after school activities, go straight home, because that's when it's a whole bunch of stuff gonna happen. They're gonna try to go to like abandoned buildings and stuff like that. Do not. Go straight home. They're gonna bring some.
Just go home. Just go home, so you don't know.
Just don't put yourself into drama. Because then drama causes everybody to turn against everybody. And then when you like the next year, these people who you thought like was your friends, next year they're gone, they're not your friend. And then when something good happens to you, everybody come running back. And then you just gotta like keep your guard up, so then like don't focus on everything else, because everything that's happening in school is too early for that. Like it's not important.
Don't fight. I feel like everything. I don't see myself as a fighter. I don't think I'll ever get into a fight unless it's something like very serious, because every time I look back at people that fight, it's just like, you're so stupid. Like, why are you fighting over a boy? Like, you're not gonna see. That's not your husband. Like, you're not gonna meet him. Like, why?
It's not gonna fix the situation at all.
I can't. Just fighting.
It's gonna still be there. Even if you won or lost the fight, the situation is gonna still be there.
They're gonna bring it back. It's just it's not worth it.
All right, I was just thinking about fights. but all right, so that's all the questions I have for you. Did you want to say anything else before we leave out?
No.
All right, y'all, so I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next Girl Talk. Bye. Stay blessed.